Hi everyone, this is Jacob Roden with Facing in CATIA 3DExperience's prismatic machining workbench. So here we can see the same part that we had previously with the pocketing, and we can see we have our safety plane and everything. So if we jump into prismatic machining, as I've said a couple times in some of the other videos, when you are starting out with a part, you want to make sure that you are facing it. And when we make our rough stock, so if we select the 3D shape, we can see, okay, so when we were doing pocketing, we just had this stock that fit to the proper size and dimensions just so we could show off that pocketing. But now what we're going to do is we're going to do something a little bit more realistic to if you had an actual piece of stock, which would be, you know, it would have a rougher finish and it might not necessarily be square, so you'd have to square it up. And one quick way to make something square is by doing a facing cut to make sure that, you want to make sure that the height is right, and you want to make sure that this is as flat as you can get it. So to start off, we can't just do a facing cut since right here we don't have any material to do a facing cut. So we can see our Z max, see it right down here. So we'll make our Z max, just 1.125, why don't we? And we can see that raises it up a little bit. You can see right there. We've got a little more material on the top. We'll say that maybe the bottom's already faced, so we're not worrying about it too much. And then we can press OK. That'll create our rough stock. You can see goes up in the Z a little bit more. And then let's hide that, edit our part operation. Same as always. Select our rough stock. Make sure that gets hidden and that we select the right thing. There we go. Let's select our safety plane. And then with the feed and speed configuration, if you're doing that, there is a face milling option for facing that we want to select. Press OK. Now we have a new tool that we're going to be making. So obviously it's in milling items. We have our face mill tool. And you can see this creates a large flat tool. Now depending on the tool that you're using, you might have to actually take multiple cuts. Just for this example, since we're not too worried about any actual tool life or anything, we have our height right here, which we'll just make 0.2. And that'll be more than enough to take this whole cut in one layer without having to cut it and then drop down a couple thou and then cut it and then keep dropping down. And we're not going to have to change any size. Obviously, depending on what you're facing and what features there might be around it or in the way, you'd have to change the width of this and the diameter and the size and everything. But for now, we're not going to have to worry about it. So we'll make our tool, and we'll go to programming. It's going to be under prismatic machining, right down here, and we've got facing. And then we'll go select our tool, our face mill. And then here we're going to see, just like with pocketing in a pictogram, you want to select the bottom plane, which here is going to be the top plane, but it's going to be where your facing is going to be finished. So we'll select this, our top plane for our part. You can see that there. And obviously we have our different options. So if you wanted to, you could go and show this rough stock. If you wanted to, and you could select the top plane, and the rough stock's not going to show. Maybe that. I guess not. But if it was showing, you could, select the check limits, your starting and end points, and then your top plane. And then in here, obviously, we have the tool that we have selected, our strategy, and this is kind of, if you go in here, you have your number of levels, and this would be if you did have a lot of material that you're trying to face off quickly. You might have to go in here and say how much you can take off per level and how many levels you need to take off. So it could face, and then face, and then face until you have everything to the right size. And then we have finish passes and all that kind of stuff. Tool axes, which we're not worried about. And then obviously we have our macros, which is the same as usual. So here, we're going to do our approach, into our safety plane. And one thing you can do with these macros, so we have our approach, and we know our linking approach is going to end up being the same, so we can just press copy right here and go to linking approach and paste that over. And we can do the same with the retract. So we can click on this plane, click on that safety plane, press OK. You can copy that retract, then paste it to that linking retract. And if we go into edit, we can see obviously that's selected at the macro plane right there. So there shouldn't be any issue about that retract. You can see clearance, all these linking retracts look alright. And then we have our speeds and feeds and everything. So everything looks like it's ready to go. We'll press simulate. Alright, looks like we got about 20 face mills in here. Let's go in here and turn this speed down. But you can see where those green lines are. That's going to come in, drop down, and then go around and face all this. If we press go, why is it doing that? Oh, there we go. Now we only got one face mill. And you can see it's just real quick gonna come down, spin around. Looks like it's gonna take about 83 seconds for it to come down and mill all that out. And then if we look at our actual stock, we can see it come in and trying to see if I can pause it. Yeah, there we go. And then you can see, obviously this is the material that we have. Our tool height's greater than that, so we're not having to worry about it. You can see it's just coming in, taking that material out from the outside in, and this will be nice and flat. And then, yeah. And depending on, like I said, your tool and even your machine, your tooling, this might be, even this could be too much for you to face at once, so you might just have to take it in steps and everything. Yeah, that's how you do facing, and then once you were done with this, you could just add in your pocketing. So now you have this nice flat face. You can put your pocket in and just add that right after your facing, after a tool change. I hope you found this interesting and learned something, and thank you for your time. Have a great day.